Hi, in this video, we're going to be going over the Google Sheets version of the MVP 2024 Rotation Builder. I've gone ahead and opened it up as well as my Google Calendar, and I'm going to begin by providing a brief overview of the Rotation Builder itself. Starting from our Rotation Builder Home tab, I'm going to start in column B with the zone names. So you can see we've provided 15 spaces for you to house your different zones that make up your territory or your travel plans. And I'm going to begin by just placing some placeholder data into these B cells that say enter zone name. It's super duper important when doing this that you only change these zone names on this rotation builder home sheet. If we briefly take a glance at the January month sheet, you can see here that it also has enter zone name in this column. When I update my zones on the rotation builder home, Annapolis and Ocean City, you can see that they're also going to update on these month sheets. I've also filled out some preliminary data, but on the rotation builder home, you can see starting from the C column over, there is a month by month breakdown of how many days you have spent in that particular zone for that particular month. And on the far right end, you'll see there's a total days tracker that will tell you your breakdown for the entire year. This is just so that you can ensure that you're spending your time where you most need it to and are accurately accounting for where to place your efforts. That pretty much covers it for the rotation builder home sheet. Heading over onto one of the month sheets, you can see in the top left-hand corner, you've been provided a calendar image for your convenience, as well as a row that states the number of days in the month and their corresponding weekdays annotated in the row above. Following each zone, you'll see that there are a series of checkboxes. All you have to do is check the checkbox for when you will be in that zone. So for example, on the 1st of January, you can see that for that entire week, I'm going to be in Baltimore. But on the 1st and the 5th, I'm going to be having an office day. Now, what that does show is that you can have some overlap. So if you have a territory where you fly from point A to point B, and there's a little bit of time where you're able to be in both zones at once, you can have that overlap and it be accounted for on your calendar. Now let's discuss getting your events from the rotation builder onto your calendar. The Google Sheets version offers the ability to export directly to a Google Calendar, or you can export an ICS file for use with any calendar management program that you might use. I'm going to go ahead and show off the Google Calendar export. If you draw your attention to the file ribbon up in the top, you'll see the little button that says Calendar Export with two options, Google Calendar Export and Other Calendar Export. The first time that you go to run one of these functions, the script is going to ask permission to access your Google Calendar and publish events on it. Go ahead and just allow it to do so. And then once you've done that, you'll come back up into your file ribbon and re-click Google Calendar Export. If you successfully gave the script permissions, what should happen next is as follows. You'll see that it provides a prompt that says running script, and that's going to run through all of the month sheets and collect the data. And then it's going to give you this little pop-up that says enter Google Calendar ID. I'm going to head over to my Google Calendars and I'm going to select the calendar that I want my events to appear on. So you can see I have a couple of calendars, but for these events, I want them to show up on the calendar named My Calendar. So on the right-hand side beside My Calendar, I'm going to click the three dots to open up my context menu, and then I'm going to go into Settings and Sharing. On this Settings and Sharings page for this calendar, I'm going to scroll down until I hit a section that says Integrate Calendar. Underneath Integrate Calendar, you'll find your calendar ID. I'm going to select all of that text, and then I'm going to paste it into this prompt from the rotation builder. Once I click OK, the script is going to continue running, and at this point, it's taking the event data and publishing it directly to the Google Calendar that we provided a calendar ID for. This should only take about 30 seconds up to 2 minutes of time. So I'm going to let this finish out, and then we'll take a look at our Google Calendar. And as you can see, it is finished. We are going to head over to the Google Calendar and back out of these settings. And you can see that January and February are populated with my event data. Now we're going to discuss the other calendar export. It's going to give you an ICS file, and I'm going to show you how to import an ICS file into a Google Calendar as well. Continuing off back on our Rotation Builder home, I'm going to go back up to Calendar Export and click Other Calendar Export. Just like the Google Calendar export, this is going to run the script, and you can see that it's running right now to collect all of that event data. And then it's going to provide this pop-up that says Download File. And you'll see click here to download your file. This hyperlink text may take just a few minutes to pop up. I've had it wait as long as 1 minute and 30 seconds, but no longer than that. And when I click this, it's going to start downloading a file, an ICS file. And you can see right here that it's finished. I'm going to close out of this blob that's popped up, and then I'm going to move back over to my Google Calendar. I'm going to reopen those settings and sharings, but it doesn't really matter which calendar you open it for because we're just trying to get to this general section where it says import and export for your Google Calendar. On the import screen, it's going to ask you to select a file from your computer. I'm going to go ahead and select the ICS file that the Rotation Builder just generated. And then underneath that, it's going to ask you to select which calendar to add your events to. I'm going to select my calendar and import. And you can see it imported 20 out of 20 events. I'm going to back out of my settings, and you can see here they are. They have repopulated on my calendar again. If you have any further questions about the 2024 Rotation Builder, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so very much, and goodbye.